Hey everyone, it's David. Welcome to Soulfish. I am really glad you're here. Been called to share some ideas, some thoughts, some feelings about what does it mean that you can impact the collective conscious. You know, it's hard when you feel disempowered, right? It's hard when you're in an environment where you feel like you haven't been able to be yourself. You haven't been able to even define yourself really so that you could be yourself, right? You felt like just kind of going with the flow, and that wasn't necessarily a good flow either. And so you think to yourself, well, how is it supposed to feel different? Like you think to yourself, well, how am I supposed to define who and what I am? Where does that come from, right? You think to yourself, well, there's got to be more going on here than kind of like this daily turmoil stuff. And so I want to share with you that there's a ton more going on. You are this spiritual being having a physical manifestation, right? We spend so much time on the outside in distraction in trying to have things in the materium of all of that, the third dimension, right? That we forget that this was all meant for us to walk through, to take the middle path, to recognize it for what it is, and then to move forward through that, to elevate matter towards spirit is what we're supposed to be doing. And the only way you're able to do that, and which is why you being an individual is so important. In other words, you being a definitive you. You have an energy body. You are a definitive space. You are. You exist that way. I do too. Everything around us exists that way. And so the reason you have this individual space is because you have to define yourself with and in relation to everything around you. And so your job is to recognize the flow you're in and to work with it organically, to work with it in a natural way. And so your thoughts, your emotions, okay, which ultimately lead to your actions, right? So these two things, your thoughts, your feeling side, your thinking side, and then your feeling side, right, this emotion side, always in a dualistic play against each other, right? The rational, irrational, So I want you to think in these kind of terms for a minute and then say to yourself, if you are this energy body, which you are, right? There's a torus field around you. There's plenty of people talking about chakras, etc. So you know that you're affected. You know that there's a plasma electric connection between our planet and other planets and the sun and the moon. So you know that these things are scientifically there. These things affect us. You know that what goes on in this planet, what we breathe in, consume in, physically affects us, right? Has a emotional repercussion even, right? So where does all of this lead? Well, it leads to the fact that if you work on you, if you work on realizing that there's never a time that you can control what's out here. All you can do is control what you do, either in A, response to what's going on around you, or B, in how you live in order to make a change. In other words, to drop your pebble into the lake, right, and you ripple out. You don't know what effects you have. You don't know what you said to the dude in the elevator this morning didn't change his direction for the rest of his life. You have no idea. And you met him for 2 minutes. You don't even know his name. In fact, you may not even have thought it was that important. And yet that's what you're really here to do. It's funny, we look at spirituality and we think to ourselves that, somehow this is something we practice in these times, like we close off, right? And then we go about our day, and then we come back to this spiritual time. Oh, I didn't get a chance to meditate. Dude, you're meditating all day long, whether you know it or not. If you're vibing out lack, if you're vibing out negativity, hate, despair, depression, and a -1 in a thing of, 1 to 10, you're a -1. If you're vibing that, you are affecting your space here. You are, excuse me, your energy body is affected, and you then are affecting everything else. How does it work? Well, keep in mind that as you take in and create, because keep in mind you are co-creating, so as things are occurring around you, you are responding to them with your thoughts and your feelings and emotions, right? The electricity within you. So you give that off, that affects the collective conscious. So if it's no different than you in a microcosm kind of way, it's no different than you walking into a party or something and you're in a downer space, and then you kind of bring everybody down. You've been there. I'm not saying you. I'm saying you've been at a party and that's happened, right? So you know what I'm saying? So that's in a microcosm. So you brought everybody down. Or you've been in the opposite situation, whether it was you or somebody else, and the whole place gets lifted up, right? You have that power. Well, guess what? As you find tools, as you find ideas that take hold, that you've proven work for you, because that becomes part of your belief system and then gets uploaded into this collective conscious, then somebody else who's challenged by that same kind of energy signature, whether they're manifesting in a similar way to yours or not, it's the same energy signature. Guess what? That information is there. That they can then pull down from and learn faster from, because the intent was in the right place. You had to do some trailblazing. They may not have to do as much trailblazing, and that works for you too. When ideas, gifts are given to you. That helps move you forward when you have those moments of epiphany, right? Where you're like, wow, yeah, I get it. Aha, yeah, now I understand. That was given to you too. So you're part of that process. That's what's so cool about this. We're not really taught these things. If we are, we're taught in kind of a flaky, kumbaya, group love, whatever kind of way, right? Like it seems out there. It seems kind of fanciful. It seems kind of like not in a practical living environment way. But what's so funny is it is. Like, you don't have to be hippie cat and live in your bus to feel this way and to operate in life in this way. It just means that you have to change your perspective and what becomes important to you. And so we were told what was important to us. We took the pill, right? And we went down that road. And then so many of us were like, man, what are we doing here? How do we get here? This isn't anything I thought it was going to be. Why am I doing this? And so for many of us, we take the turn, right? We don't just keep going on until we're dead. We actually say, take the turn. And then when it happens to younger people, hell yeah, even better, right? So you learn faster than we did. This is about all of us working on us, increasing our abilities, increasing, our best qualities, which is what makes us us. In other words, to bring that to light, which is what this place needs. And you're going to bring some bad qualities with you. But the cool part is, while you're working on some of your bad qualities, there's a dude over here who's mastered that. And guess what? That will help to lift you. And guess what? While you're mastering your stuff, he needs that help, and you're going to help to lift him. And how cool is that? So the work you do for yourself is so important. It's about the daily quality of your life. It's about how you walk through this life and the changes you're able to affect in that. And the cool part is as you learn that, and you get better at it because you're a practitioner, right? As you get better at it, guess what? This dude over here gets the benefits of that. Just like his work, you get the benefits of. And I just think that's amazing and awesome. And so I celebrate that, and I want you to celebrate that, because it's tough when you are working on yourself, when you are trying to say, I'm supposed to do this better, regardless of what everybody else says, I'm supposed to do it better. It's tough work, and it's cool to know that it's not just for your payoff and your benefit, but that it actually does do everyone else a lot of good. And that's really awesome. So I hope that's helpful. And until next time, be well.